Warmly welcome to Exploring Miracles. I'm reading from the text in the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and I'm doing my best to reflect on the lessons as I go with the text. We have now come to lesson 101. God's will for me is perfect happiness. This lesson is wonderful and not that easy to understand. I will do my best. I read it several times, of course. But I know it will take a heavy burden from us. So here we go. Today we will continue with the theme of happiness. This is a key idea in understanding what salvation means. You still believe it asks for suffering as penance for your quote-unquote sins. This is not so. Yet you must think it so while you believe that sin is real and that God's Son can sin, and God's Son, that is you and me. And here we go for some really heavy drama. I love this the tone in these paragraphs. Paragraph 2. If sin is real, then punishment is just and cannot be escaped. Salvation, thus, cannot be purchased but through suffering. If sin is real, then happiness must be illusion, for they cannot both be true. The sinful warrant only death and pain, and it is this they ask for they know it waits for them, and it will seek them out and find them somewhere, sometime, in some form that evens the account they owe to God. They would escape him in their fear, and yet he will pursue, and they cannot escape. This, when I first read this, I didn't understand. I thought, what does this paragraph say? Oh my, this was really rigid, really hard, and really dark. Now, after digesting it and being inspired by many wise other fellow students and teachers of A Course in Miracles, I can see why it's there. It's to give us the concept we might have carried around what sin and happiness, and that we have to deserve, and we have to penance, and some power will hunt us down, and doomsday. So in a way, this is so humorous, and this is Jesus's voice, talking to us and really showing us that you got it all wrong, dear human being. So, dear part of God also, dear human being who is a part of God, you got it all wrong. And I will go on with the text, paragraph 3 here. So it goes on. If sin is real, salvation must be pain. Pain is the cost of sin, and suffering can never be escaped if sin is real. Salvation must be feared, for it will kill, but slowly, taking everything away before it grants the welcome boon of death to victims who are little more than bones before salvation is appeased. Its wrath is boundless, merciless, but wholly just. This reflection, this is like a movie. If there is a good director in a movie, a good script, there will be, really dramatic, maybe dark, and many feelings, emotions are awakened in the audience, in us. And then, if it's a good director, there comes after these scenes some lighter, some fields with flower and lighter music, because the audience will be too exhausted to, so it always has to be up and down. This is the Greek drama. This is a good drama. And this is what we have here in this chapter. We are now going through the really hard stuff that we might have lived with and been carrying around. And here we go. All right, so paragraph 4. Who would seek out such savage punishment? Who would not flee salvation and attempt in every way he can he and attempt in every way he can to drown the voice which offers it to him? So we don't believe in salvation. We think we are not worthy. Why would he try to listen and accept its offering? No, that's right. Why would we? If that is the cost we have heard in these paragraphs. If sin is real, its offering is death, and meted out in cruel form to match the vicious wishes in which sin is born. If sin is real, salvation has become your bitter enemy, the curse of God upon you who have crucified his son. So this was the hard scenes in the movie. Look at this. Okay, but now we are in for the real deal. The practice. So now we are going to see the burden is taking away from us. 5. You need the practice periods today. Oh yes, we do. The exercises teach sin is not real, and that you believe, and all that you believe must come from sin will never happen, for it has no cause. Accept atonement with an open mind, which cherishes no lingering belief that you have made a devil of God's son. There is no sin. We practice with this thought as often as we can today. Yes, I'd love to. I will, because it is the basis for today's idea. So, wow. Paragraph 6. God's will for you is perfect happiness because there is no sin, and suffering is causeless. Joy is just. Joy is just, and pain is but the sign you have misunderstood yourself. Fear not the will of God, but turn to it in confidence that it will set you free from all the consequences sin has wrought in feverish imagination. Say, God's will for me is perfect happiness. There is no sin. It has no consequence. So should you start your practice periods, and then attempt again to find the joy these thoughts will introduce into your mind. We will give up these 5 minutes gladly, because we are going from the madness and the nightmare of what we might have had as an idea of sin and salvation and all that. Now, no one is to blame, because no one knew better. Whoever told us, whatever circumstance, whatever surrounding, whatever community we've been a part of, I'm sure it was nobody's meaning, but it's very human misunderstanding, and maybe it has to do with surviving and giving and taking and paying. If I get this, I have to pay for it and all that. But this is not about that. So I gladly will repeat this many, many times, not only today, but in my life. God's will for me is perfect happiness. This is the truth, because there is no sin. This is beautiful. Is there anything else to reflect on before I close? In paragraph 7, today escape from madness. Yeah, let's escape from madness. You are set on freedom's road, and now today's idea brings wings to speed you on. and hope to go still faster to the waiting goal of peace. There is no sin. Remember this today and tell yourself as often as you can. God's will for me is perfect happiness. This is the truth, because there is no sin. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's very much appreciated. I wish I had better words to express this to you who listen, and see you soon.